Well, I think it's about time we show a bit of that off, right?
Hey,
So for visibility, you're going to see some gameplay on screen. This is JC. If you notice the other Afeera, this is me as a punching bag. So I'm just here to take some hits and JC.
So we're going to start with something that I really want to highlight because it's an amazing part of this hero. It's just the way she changes her stance, right? So you can look at, like, you know, from, let's say, from right to top. Like, Vanessa, you want to talk to us a little bit about this?
Yeah, because the stance matter a lot for this character, we really take our time at mocap to design them in a way that they look cool and they flow very well. Like top to right stance, it flows so well that we were like, usually it's pretty linear, the animation that we do, but for this character specifically, you have like, if you spam the change stance, because everybody does that, right? It kind of look cool, like top to right, it's kind of flowy. And yeah, I'm really proud of the change stance. Really, it's because it's not really gameplay, but it's part of like everybody see the stances. It's the starting point really to start fighting. So we really wanted to design the silhouette and the stances. In a good way.
I find it really sells her agility as well.
Yeah,
right? Like
you're just right there, and
you
you know already. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right, so we're gonna start with what are her chains openers, right? So she has normally lights, normal. As you can notice, her lights have superior block, so that it helps you really like counter people that are attacking. And she has heavies as well, right? So they always look super good. Here we have front dodge heavy. We have if you want to put your life there,
I was just gonna be like, I'm about to die. No.
Just so that okay.
Now we're back.
We have side dodge heavies as well, right? So again, really good stuff there. We also have a little something that's kind of new that we haven't really done before. We have a neutral bash. That's feintable, right? So we have a bash like this. It's kind of slow, but
there's the bonk.
You can feint it.
We found the bonk.
Yeah, there's a bonk here, right? So you can feint it, so it's really good and mixing up opponents from super close range, having a lot of that stuff there that's super interesting. So that works really well. There's other little specific things we'll get into with that specific bash. So one of the things that's also really interesting is that her light finishers also have superior block, right? You can kind of see it on the indicator there. So again, the idea is when you're in a group fight, when you're outnumbered, in a 1v1 situation, it's not the best tool, but in a group fight, it's super interesting, right? Because there's somebody trying to peel you off, trying to do something, block them, hit your current target, super good, really interesting stuff.
Nice.
But then, when you look at her heavies, so her right stance heavy is unblockable.
Okay.
Her top stance heavy is undodgeable. And her left stance heavy displaces. So if we go here, you can see that it... Wait, we're going to do it a little bit more. It's going to wall splat here, right? And I can get top heavy off. I can get like different
it's okay.
things off. So again,
No,
we really want
problem
to have
with
like, that
that
choice
is,
here where you have that built-in
you always
mix-up of
push
I'm gonna
people
do
in one
unblockable,
direction, so
dodgeable. She
basically
also
to the
has
right side.
Bash in her chain
Makes it,
that you can do after any opener.
my opinion,
Beautiful looking kick. You can do it
very
after dodge,
predictable.
after whatever you like. So that's super cool there as well. You get a lot of those mix-ups. All that stuff is really built in. But then you're gonna look at me. You're gonna say, you know what? This is just like a two-hit chain hero.
Yeah. JC, when I look at this, I just see a two-hit chain here.
Yeah, right.
What's up with that?
That's kind of weird, right?
A little bit.
So what she can do is that after every single attack in her recovery, similar to what we have with some other heroes, you can do a recovery cancel.
Ooh, okay.
It's not a regular dodge cancel, right? It's a flip that she does. But you can see right now, and what's cool is that I'm doing it like just pressing dodge, right? But you can also do it sideways.
Oh, that's
You
cool.
can do it front as well.
Oh no.
Right? So
Wait,
just
That's exactly what I saw when GC is like, let's have movement, and that's because the first time we did those transitions, it was really cool to do. We did the back first, and it looked amazing, and we were like, I think at that time we
Dutch.
because that when we do possession and we play, and we're like, oh, I wish I can do it on the side as well. So we start allowing it to do it, but the backflip was sliding, so we went back to mocap. And I'm like, GC, stop hiding stuff. Like, but it looks so cool, and it's so fun to do it as well. Like when you do it,
looks
it's
smooth.
just so
For
satisfying.
sure.
yeah, it's super.
The thing
tight.
is,
so
Shinobi
out of this
backflip, like here in the chat, someone mentioned in the chat,
you
can
have
only
a knee
do a
here, like a little
backflip.
bash that
That's
goes
the problem
pretty
with
quick, goes pretty
Shinobi.
far.
But now
works
you
really
can
well.
use.
You can also do it off of a side one if you want. You can do it. Off of
Can
the
do
front one.
immediately
You can do
side
it at
dodge.
any point you want here. So that's super interesting as well. what's cool with this is that really using a lot of stuff in like target swapping, deciding what direction you're gonna go in when you flip, when you do things, really helps her move around the battlefield, and that works really well. The next thing I want to really highlight is after any single one of her bashes. So if they are like kick or knee based bashes, so after this one or after this one, you get a guaranteed light or a guaranteed heavy finisher that keeps the properties that we have when you're doing them normally, right?
Oh my.
So if I go,
Oh wow. Oh wait.
it might sound a bit weird to go like this and go, oh, this is unblockable, but
18
still,
damage.
it works really well, and it works here as well.
Okay.
Right.
I see the
Top.
synergy now. If you backflip
This one that displaces
and then
again.
you get the wall splat, it's basically 18
And whenever
damage
it's
plus
off of
heavy.
shield-based bashes, it's the same logic here, right?
Okay.
And what's really interesting here is, I don't know
See
if
this in
you've
Gina.
noticed, and Vanessa can talk about this, right? When I'm doing your heavy finishers normally, they look like this. If I do them after kick, they look completely different, even though they have the same properties. And if I do them after a bash, they also look different,
Yes.
right? So you want to walk us through this? a bit?
Yeah, because we designed them to be like you have your shield more in your presence as well. Like when we design, and we wanted to have like variety of animation in. Just to like let you
Yeah, the animation looks
guide you
good.
through the chain that you want to do. So
I want to
and-
see
and
now
for
the
this
people
character
that
specifically,
complain
like the shield,
Ubisoft's
yes,
always
it's a shield.
recycling the same
It's not
animation,
the first
even
one
if
to
it's
have a
not true.
shield, but technically the shield is a weapon.
Yeah.
And like in how it's made, it's used as a weapon. So that's why when you bash and maybe do something else with it, but
Yeah.
the shield is really like a part, really part of the and I like the design, like the nook. Like
Yeah,
that
that little
little
nook
hook,
there.
like
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And
And
we
I-
use it in the stance as well, like
Right?
we,
Yeah. If you switch from that side to the other side there,
Yeah.
you see that kind of she pushes the mace out.
yeah. As soon as we saw it in the design, at first we're like, oh my god, we can use that in the guard break and like all
Yeah,
those
and all
kind of
that
move.
stuff.
We're gonna use it. So we evolved, like the whole team evolved and adapt. It was really fun to do.
Yeah.
Because there's even something about that in the guard break itself too, right? Where-
Yeah. When you guard
Yeah,
break, she kind of punches with
Yeah.
the shield.
I love that animation.
It's a late your
Yeah.
face to
She grabs
damage.
Oh, yeah.
you with the shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he gets it right in the hook. So, yeah.
It looks super cool.
Nice.
She also has a regular, pretty fast zone attack from neutral. That also counts as an opener, so you can kicks afterwards.
Oh,
You can
okay.
flip afterwards if you want.
Yeah.
She has a running attack. Oh. Again, counts as an opener. So kind of everything kind of counts as an opener there. So that works really well, and that's cool. I think like even her the way she runs, she looks super interesting here. Like I really like the way that works.
Yeah.
And then there's another little trick. That I'm gonna show people, right?
Oh, okay.
So like I was talking about relentless reach.
Right. Like
Right.
I'm so far away, right?
Super far.
You can't.
I
You can't
hit
get
you, right?
me.
Like, I'm
You
gonna try
can't
to do,
get
like
me.
hit you with a light or
That's
whatever.
alright,
I can.
that's alright.
I'm safe.
But wait, if I try to do that neutral bash,
Yeah.
this is what happens.
Oh, yeah.
She runs towards her opponent and
What?
then hits them with her shield, right? So this is super cool. That's what we
Wait,
mean by
wait, I want to
relentless
see it
reach, that
again.
She can really run towards her opponent. Even while you're running, you can move around a little bit. So if your opponents are on a corner, you can kind of like curve around the corner.
Oh,
Have that
Oh.
good stuff going.
It's
You
so
can-
fun to pull out this.
Oh yeah, it's super cool. You can feint that run at any point during the run, so you can crazy if you want. You can also cancel it with a flip, so you can go like this, whoop, or go a little bit further out.
Wait. Run again? Yeah,
Cancel
okay,
with a
okay.
flip. I can cancel it with like a side flip if I want to. I can do like whatever I'd like here. So it's interesting to really have like that sort of control here and really go into running and what I want to do what's going to happen. And we wanted to give her options when she's running so that if there's opponents nearby that try to hit you out of it, you can anticipate it, do a flip, try to avoid them,
Yeah.
feint block, do whatever you'd like. That works super well. It's very, very cool there. And I think her run, like it's a bit similar to, like, we have a Orochi that runs like this a little bit, but it looks so different and the outcome is really strong.
Yeah, because she's looking
Ah,
at you.
I
She
like
has
her
shield,
already.
in front because she's still like she's tactical. Like it's part of her
Yeah.
character.
I
so
always
she's,
love
like,
hero
She knows where
with a
she's
good
going and
chase.
like
Yeah.
don't let her reach you because
It's just
Easily.
the doom train coming
Yeah.
your way right there.
This
so,
is-
yeah.
Orochi,
She also has
number one for me.
superior block dodges, so you can see the shield flashing here
Oh,
on the top. And then you want to do me a
Sure.
top attack?
I would do that.
Every time when you're about to win a fight,
And-
no, I'm running away now. Oh, okay.
And so when you hit guard break,
As a low
when you
brainer, you're
successfully
always
block
like,
with this,
okay,
you get a shield bash.
She bonked me
whatever.
again. So many bonks.
That leads to those heavy finishers that are faster as well. It comes from a shield, so you get the shield variant of those attacks
Exactly.
as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we really want to have like that, a lot of cohesion there, and have that aspect really, really like shine through, and have this. So that's really, really cool. You want to show a couple of emotes, maybe?
I mean, sure,
Emotes?
if we want to do a little
Oh!
handstand there. That's honestly my favorite.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad I
Yo.
got this
sick.
character.
Yeah. It looks really
Just
amazing.
styling. Just styling.
That's right. She's showing off her skill, right?
Yeah.
Now Vanessa, from an animation standpoint and mocap, like did you actually had the mocap actor
Yeah, he
doing
did that.
handstands?
I mean, we might have cheated a little bit and hold him in place, to be honest. But I mean,
We do what we can.
but with her, I mean, she's flipping a lot. So the guys has to do flipping for like 8 hours stuff.
Yeah, at some point.
It's pretty tiring just to look at them. So I don't even like imagine like just doing them, you know. So
Seems exhausting.
Yeah, we have a little flip of the mace here.
yeah, showing off.
Slightly different. Showing out the celestial sphere there. That's really, really cool.
Got some good spam here. I like it.
Yeah.
Actually,
Alright.
we when we do the animation, we look at the spam. Huh? We look at
Yeah,
how
we
they.
really do. Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to make them like as cool. It doesn't often like come out like cool, but when they do, it's pretty satisfying.
It's just so you know, chat. Like we do consider emote spam
Yeah,
in the
totally.
creation of.
Oh my god,
Really?
it's a meme now.
Yeah, and so we went to mocap with this. A lot of new animations, a lot of
Yes.
variety. I really, really like the way that she's fluid, how she moves, how she their stances, the attacks look really, really cool.
'Cause she has a lot of attack, but it means a lot of transition as well.
Yeah.
And this is always the not the bane of my existence, but every time JC came to my desk and like, yeah, we might want to add something or change something. I'm like, oh my god, all those transitions that we have to do. So,
Yeah.
but we adapt and we try to find the
Yeah,
best.
we do
Like,
what we gotta do. But
yeah, exactly.
I mean, they did
then I
a
go
great
see her
job.
go, this needs to be 400 ms.
Oh
and
my
it was
god.
6.
Oh my god, yes. We'll see later with the feet, but yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. All right. So
Oh, yeah,
let's go
right,
have
feats.
a quick look at the feats. Vanessa, you want to talk to us a little bit more about like?
Do you want to do execution right now?
We're gonna do
or-
executions afterwards.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to just like talk a little bit about more like the process that you guys have for like
Yes.
from when we're gonna mocap and like design for the animation.
Yeah, exactly. So the first time we go to mocap, because we go to mocap often to adapt to the design of because it evolves obviously, and we the first time we go we do navigation first, really to show the personality of a character. We always do them the navigation because it represents the core personality, like with the idol breaker. When you wait a little bit longer, you're gonna see her like personality show through, and yeah, so we do like basic, like opener, finisher, like those basic attack. Because at that point, it's so early in the process that sometimes it's not even fleshed out yet how like it's gonna evolve, like the
Yeah.
transition, like we were saying, like she's gonna move that way or that way. So we have to go back to adapt and adjust the timing and all the transition and everything. So obviously all the execution for every character, it's
For
always
sure,
like that. But execution, emote, podium, it's all
Yeah,
mocap.
yeah.
And yeah, but we have to think in advance,
Oh,
like
nice.
all the concept. We give the concept to the mocap actors so they feel inspired. Give them a little backstory as well. So
Yeah.
I'll
No,
get into it.
Our mocap guys are
They're
absolutely
good.
amazing.
Crazy good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you and again, like I've seen the list, people. Like I've seen the list of animations, like everything they have
Yeah,
to like
I
they
know.
go through. It's insane. The amount,
Yeah.
the amount
But it
those,
paid
those
off.
poor actors like just running
This
for
hero
hours.
Yeah,
looks-
when you do the run, because the run is pretty low, and
Yeah.
we
yeah.
I think
oh,
we
yeah, that
did
was
some,
rough. Yeah,
we did some take when he was just lying on the he was leaning on a like couch thingy, and he was just trying to run because she's so low, then it's hard to mocap. So obviously the animators, as soon as they get the data, they can adjust it to make it like natural in a way and to make it feel good. And there's a lot of camera work as well that we have to adjust to make it feel good as well.
Yeah.
So,
That's super cool. All right, so let's have a quick look at feats. We finished our little setup here. So just to note, feat cooldowns, we're in Dominion. The feat cooldowns are set to fast.
Yeah,
So
okay.
don't rely on this for feat cooldowns. But that's what it is. So we have 4 feats, right, on Afeera. The first one is a nice little kick like this, grabs and throws, right? This is 500 ms from neutral, not a lot of range, but still very, very, very strong. Really hard to react to.
Is that
And
a
it
ledge
looks
move?
Absolutely amazing. I don't know if you want
I'll
to
do
that
it,
a
I'll do
ledge
it.
move?
I'll do it, yeah.
Please go
Right, so
near to the
a lot
ledge
of what we
and
did-
It was so
do it
impressive
again.
to see that live. Like,
Oh, yeah.
our actor did that for like in front of us, and
Yeah.
we were like,
Just straight up.
Seriously,
okay,
no
Kat,
one
I
wants
think
to
we got
fight.
it. It was so cool to.
Afeera
I think-
need-
yeah, no,
need a ledge
It's
anymore.
just really amazing to do, but obviously they don't do it. And how many MS it is?
It's 500.
500.
Yeah,
It's
very
very
they
hard
don't
to
do it in
react.
500 MS. They do it like they don't want to hurt themselves, obviously. So
Yeah.
that's when we
Yeah,
like
yeah.
have to adjust it and to make
Yeah.
it like readable and understandable. It has to fit with like the characters. So yeah,
Yeah, no, and we're
it's
like
so cool.
What's
a lot
hard
of
to
a lot of
react?
people on the dev team are like big fans of
Whoa, whoa,
wrestling
whoa,
and
whoa,
stuff.
whoa.
And we're really trying to get a little bit of that agility.
How
there,
did you
right?
know that? I mean,
Right.
yes,
Right, but
fine.
it's I find it super interesting that we have like a lot more agility in what she's doing,
Yeah.
her moves, and it like I'll do it again on Nolan. Just grab it.
But it reflects the character. She's
So
agile and
basically,
she's really
you
tactical.
throw
She knows exactly
her,
where to put her
throw
body
your
to,
opponent in the
to,
8
uh,
o'clock
yeah,
position.
flip her.
So feat 2 is a defensive feat. So feat 2 is whenever you land a bash, you gain a defense buff for a few seconds. So you can see on the shoulders here how it lasts. So you get a little bit of defense. So again, she lands a lot of bashes. A lot of her kit is centered around bashes. So we wanted to make sure to give her like a bit more of reward when she does it. When she
Yeah,
does
if you land
perform her
bash,
bashes, and it gives her a
get
bit
the
more safety
defense
and protection
buff.
as well. So that's super interesting.
And I noticed the green glow also came off of the
Makes
first
him more
feat too.
tanky.
So,
Yeah,
so that
exactly
goes-
right.
that
So,
also
great.
counts.
so feat 1 counts as a bash. Feat 3 also counts as a bash. Now. So
Wow.
feat 3, I'm gonna do it from far away because we can do it a little bit from further away. So feat 3 is another part of our relentless
Looks
reach
like a
aspect. So when you
charge.
pop it, you run towards your opponent, kick them, throw them to the floor, and then you get a guaranteed heavy effort. I didn't land it, obviously, because I'm not good. But that's the whole point here, right? So, and then when she does it too, Nolan's gonna be able to do
I
it for
will,
me.
I will
And
do
have
I'm
a
gonna
look at
mash
her.
heavy, I'm gonna
Yeah,
mash
and
heavy.
look at her guard indicators. You see that she had full block during the entire duration of that run. And so when
Oh.
you're point blank, you can actually react to some attacks with
The
it,
question
block
is,
them as you're
yeah,
doing
probably
the
you
feat,
can get
and grab your
bashed
opponent
or
do that. It's really, really good.
bashed out of it.
It should be good for ganking setups. You can do a lot of different things with it, so that's super interesting here.
The fun story with that one was we did the first feat first, like
Yeah.
at mocap.
Oh yeah.
Put it in game, tried it, and we're like, oh my god, that's so cool. That looks so cool. And I think it was you or Stefan. I don't remember. Like, oh, can we do another one? I'm like, okay, let's go back to mocap.
Yeah,
let's
let's
do
do
another one. And we did another one. Like one of them, I think moved forward, the other one moved back.
Yeah.
The
So
opponent.
when one of them hits, like you
Displacement, yeah.
push your opponent backwards from you, and then the other one keeps your opponent in front of you. So really, I have that kind of like change there.
And I think it was that. I think it's the third one that at first was. I think the data was like 3,000 MS.
Oh, yeah,
something really
super
long.
slow.
Because
Took a little
it's
bit.
kind of long
yeah.
to do, and GC was like, it has to be like. I think at first was like super fast, and I'm like, GC, you have to give me a little bit of
Yeah, you know, a little bit of a thing, but
because it's so hard. Because it's always like it's part of our job really to make it work. It has to look good, but it has to make sense in gameplay as well. Because that's we deserve like with deserving gameplay through the animation. It
Yeah.
has to make sense. Has to be balanced as well.
Yeah.
So it's really like support each other and come up with something cool.
okay. And then I'm gonna show off the last feat, which is feat 4. We can't show it off
To its full
to
extent.
its full extent.
Yeah.
But basically, she throws her shield. When it hits the opponent, leaves them with a defense debuff, as you can see right now. The trick with this is that it deals damage, debuffs defense, and it bounces around targets. Kind of like similar to
Let's
what
go,
it
Captain
has-
America! I knew it, man. I was
Yeah, the ricochet, right?
Nice.
So it kind of bounces around, debuffs everybody it hits. deals
Captain
damage to
America
everybody it hits.
movement.
Super cool looking. Everybody like that. I think that was the first feat that we had in, and we're like, yeah, guaranteed this is in
Oh, yeah,
at the
yeah.
end. Like it
I
took,
think it's in the trailer as well.
I'm a throw.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
in.
yeah.
Bouncy,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like,
So-
it's like an awesome
super,
discus.
super cool.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
So
pretty sure,
that's it
yeah.
for
I mean,
feats.
if you don't pay
Let's look
attention
at
to it, of
execution,
course.
Right, so I'm
But
gonna
for example,
gently kill Nolan here.
You're gonna thank you for gently killing.
good
me. I
example
appreciate
is
that.
the pirate level
I
4.
love that you're thinking of me.
Yeah.
At
So
one
we
point
have
you
this
will probably
execution
expect
here.
it.
Again,
And
showing
it
off the
looks much
agility
slower
there.
than
Super
You
Pirate
know
level
what
4.
he's doing, right?
Yeah.
I'll wake up. I'll wake up. It's
But
okay.
the
I'm
good thing
okay.
is it's instant
okay.
damage.
And I'm okay.
Instant damage.
Special developer powers. All right, so I'm gonna
Do the other one.
the other one.
Captain Arabia.
So many bonks.
Oof.
So many bonks. Right, so again, like really showing off a lot of this agility.
Yeah.
I think I have the other ones equipped.
I really want to see
I should have all of
the optional feats. For example, on level 1, does she have
so
Bounty
good.
Hunter?
A lot of inspiration.
Using the shield.
Yeah,
as
that's
well,
it. Like
yeah.
very really using
Yeah.
the shield to control your opponent.
It's so cohesive.
Yeah. And finally, shot it out. There. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It happens this
How can I
live.
mess up
This
the
will happen.
execution? Ah, makes me angry.
Damn.
Oh, look at you combo. You're
You're
swagging on me.
Sorry.
You're swagging on me. Nice.
Right. So
Oh, and she
We-
kicks it up. She
yeah,
kicks
she
it up.
kicks
at
it
the
up.
end.
Like just that little part there, like is
She's
amazing.
flipping over your body.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So that's
Oh.
pretty much it in
Oh,
terms
really
of
cool.
fight kit and feats, emotes, executions, all sorts of good stuff. So yeah, I think Nolan,
I-
we're gonna talk about.
Well, I just wanted to keep playing. I'm sorry. I'll set the controller down now. I'm just trying to. I love
Yeah.
to handstand. So fun. Wow. Yeah. No. Sorry. One more week. One more week.
It's
and we
fun to
can
play when
Yeah.
because I'm not as good as GC when I play the game, but it's fun to play when you're like not as good, but you feel really good. Because She
Yeah.
has so much option, even
Yeah.
if it's simple, it has
Yeah.
a lot of option. And when you're really good, it's the best comment we got during a play session was, "I died."
Is it a
but
good
it was
hero or
really
not?
cool."
Yeah.
I
Like-
mean, I think she's really
Yeah,
good
you-
hero.
That
And I
doesn't
think-
happen
Wow.
often.
Right, yeah, and I think you get the sense like with all of that, like you could put that whole kit together in so many different ways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
I love
cool.
that. That's it. You really can afford to be creative, and nobody plays Afeera the same.
Mhm.
We saw it when we were playing. Some people really do like a lot of flips. Some people do a little bit less, and then like rather they try to do like side flips. Some people like try to focus on I'm gonna hit this person, target swap, flip into that towards
Yep.
that person, do other things.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of that like personality that can shine through as a player. while
Yeah,
playing this hero, so
it's
really
easy
cool.
after that to know like, oh, this person they're using the shield a lot, so
Yeah.
it's easy to
Yeah.
kind of know in which way they
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, even though she's like got the super unique move kit stuff, for people out there who are already playing for Honor, like what is there like a close parallel that maybe you could equate her to for
So
people wondering?
I think like as we've seen a bit, there's there's the running, there's those stances. I think
This alright,
if you
Patchnotes
play
is the
Shinobi
next
already,
segment.
she's kind of a natural
Oh,
fit. Like
such
she
a
has
good day, man.
similar
Such a good day.
tools in terms of like the flip. Like Shinobi can flip, obviously.
Mhm.
Like has different types of mix-ups, but it's really the idea is if you play Shinobi, you should be right at
Help
home. If you
me.
play Orochi with the running
For
or
Arab
Shaman with the
Mama.
running, you're right at home. You know how to use these tools already. They're
Arab
just
Mama.
more accessible with her.
Mhm.
And they're also a little bit different, but you can get into that. And so we really wanted to have like that kind of feeling of, well, there's some of the more agile heroes that we have. How do we translate this?
Yeah, I
into
think
a
about
shield
to
hero
rename my
that does
Ubisoft
not
account
have a
into Mia
traditional
Khalifa,
full block
and
stance,
then
right?
I
Usually when
just
we have shield heroes,
play her for a while.
except for Gladiator because
Who
it's
knows?
a really really tiny shield. They have like big block stances, right? And so even though she does have a shield, we wanted that shield to be part of her move set and not necessarily like a big defensive shield, right? So that's like
Yeah.
that's a big part here. That, I think like, at least Shinobi, Orochi, Shaman,
People in
these
the
types of
chat
more
knows
agile
already.
heroes fit really, really well with her. And then if you use her Orochi as well, dodge cancel, that sort of stuff, so it works really, really well.
Cool. And how do you see her fitting into like the team comp for like competitive play or
Yeah.
if it's just online?
So
Like, where do you see that?
What's interesting is that she has a lot of tools to stall with her flips. She has a lot of tools to deal a lot of damage in 1v1 with with like hitting and wall sliding people.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of those things where it's like she fits, I think, into team compositions where if you want to have somebody that's going to be good at stalling a point, somebody that's going to be good at doing 1v1s, a little bit good in group fights, having that aspect there of being able to, well, she's kind of well-rounded in those aspects. So, and it's a big part of the meta right now. It's stalling, doing
that's
like,
true.
like really
Stalling's
keeping a
very
point, making sure that
important.
you can keep somebody on a point
The
and have them
mix-ups
stall there while their
looks
teammates come to
Right,
help them
right.
when a
very
bunch of
hard to
people
read,
come.
very
So
hard
there's a lot
to
of that
avoid.
stuff there, and she's also an excellent
Um,
ganker with her feats. Like those feats that you know
Yeah.
keep you pinned for a long time, flip you around, that sort of stuff. You have an ally nearby to get a free heavy all the time.
Yeah,
Super
yeah.
good there.
That's awesome. Well, very cool.
But al-
And I
but
mean,
we
do you
also
have
have to
any,
consider
other
how
tips
much
maybe
revenge
for
do
players
the
coming in
feats
next week when they
actually
first get their hands
give?
on Afeera. Like, what tips do you want to
Yeah. So,
impart on them?
I think one of the things I'd like to say is like she has all those dodge cancels, right? But they're not regular dodge cancels. They go into like something really unique and specific, and a lot of that can make you predictable. And that's the big thing here is that we don't like if you're playing with Afeera quite a bit and you start to do that all the time against people, you start to become predictable. And because you become predictable, you become a lot easier to beat. So I would say really focus on that, the fact that she has a lot of different options to force your opponents to make reads on you. We're really pushing the game into a more like we want players to read their opponents more, which is different from guessing. But the big thing is that like, you really have
That's
to
true.
keep being unpredictable at all times. And
Read
when you're fighting her, it's a
not
matter
equal
of
guessing.
looking at her, looking at the player that's playing Afeera, and going, okay, so what are their patterns? What are they doing? What are they repeating all the time? And what can I beat? We've taken a big care into making sure that things were still punishable. That if you make correct reads, you do get punishes. You do get a lot of stuff out of it. But I'm gonna leave that for players to find out. There's a couple of other like little cute things that we didn't go into
Okay.
that I'd rather players find it out more organically and like,
Right,
a lot more.
we can't just tell you all of this.
Exactly,
Sorry,
right?
you got to
Fun.
discover it for
There's something-
yourselves.
There's
yeah.
no more moves, but there's like there might be
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like, I wasn't expecting this and this and that.
Gotcha.
So I would say like really go explore, try to see like and develop your own play style with her, which is like super interesting for that.
Cool.
And start to learn running because she's
Start to
gonna
learn.
If,
Yeah,
if you,
she
if you
runs
play
quite a bit.
against an
Oh
Afeera,
yeah.
Yeah.
start to
Well, I was gonna say, like, what can I do to defend against Afeera? Because I can't run away now. 'Cause she's gonna chase me.
Right. So you have to face her head on
Man. All right.
and do correct reads. That's
Do correct. Well, I'm in trouble then. That's for sure. Okay. Well, very cool. Well, thank you so much to both of you for coming here and sharing with everybody here. The first gameplay look at Afeera, going over the animations. Is there anything you want to kind of say, like to
well.
community? Out
First, I want to thank Francis, who's probably watching from home right now. He's on a well-deserved vacation. Who worked super hard on this hero. The entire fight team always works on every single hero, right? We're all doing this as a big group, along with Vanessa's team on animation. But Francis was responsible for this hero, and like props to him. Like, she is amazing, super fun to play, really, really good job. And then Vanessa's team did an absolutely crazy job on this hero. Like we're all super proud of it. We have audio with Carl that also like she sounds amazing too. Like it's
Oh, wait
not
a sec.
super obvious, we're just playing now doing stuff, but as we play her,
Use the
you'll see
time.
that she's like
Thank
everything
for the
sounds
squad.
great.
It's really a team effort. Like,
Yeah, it's a massive
all
team
across
effort.
the board.
Congrats to the entire team.
So first,
we all did
Coolio.
amazing. And
Yeah, I want to congrats the animators that work on it, like Ricardo, Nawel, and
Yeah, Coolio. With a
Kadem.
gifted sub. Thank you.
Same, we're a
And
bunch of
now we
animators
have-
as well, and we help each other, like debugging at the end and
Jugun.
wrapping up everything. But congrats,
thank
it's
you.
so cool to see like her fleshed out, like, and everybody's working together. It's pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
Really, really
Okay.
fun.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. That's amazing for real. And yeah, big shout outs again just to everybody who,
Sorry, guys,
who
I have to
worked so
open
hard
my
to bring her
own
to
book
life.
now.
Thank you both so much for coming and showing off all this amazing stuff for the team here.
Edit my
So we're gonna have to
profile.
transition, but stick around because you're gonna get some more screen
Guys,
time
I'm going
with
to
JC,
do it,
who's
man.
gonna go
I'm
over
going
all
to
the
do it
patch
now.
notes for
I'm
24
going to do it now.
And yeah, so look forward to that, and we'll see you soon. So don't go anywhere.
I'm going to do it now. How do you type that? Like this? I don't want to Google it now because it's too dangerous. It's too dangerous. So. Ah! No! The filter says no! Ah, no! Ubisoft filters too smart. Patchnotes!
Welcome back,
Let's go.
everybody. I'm joined once again by Mr. JC Franet. Or rather, I'm joining you because you were here in the last second.
I haven't moved much, so that's okay.
We've got patch notes coming live on February 2nd.
Yeah.
But I think we have one thing to talk about before we dive into the notes. Wasn't there a testing grounds, a ground of testing?
Yeah, ground of testing, right? So So there's two things, right? First, we completed the Jormungandr testing grounds not that long ago. Went extremely well. We're super happy with the results. We'll have more details to share, you know, in the coming weeks or whatever. But really, the idea is like it went well. We got a lot of feedback, and we were able to act on a lot of that feedback. So I think we're gonna have a really, really good rework. We're all super proud of it. So that was amazing.
And thank you, real quick, to everyone who responded to the Testing Grounds survey, who
Yeah.
gave us feedback on the subreddit. It was really appreciated. So thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing. Honestly, like my wife got mad at me because I was on Reddit too much. But I mean, this is what happens. But it went well. Yeah, you do it.
Yeah.
That's
Plans.
Oh no, what have I done, guys? So upset. I should just
yeah.
change the
And so the other thing I want to
L
talk about
into
is
an I.
the dodge attack
and it worked.
improvements testing rounds.
Okay,
that we
say
did a
hi
little
to
while
my
ago.
new account name.
So we wanted to take a bit more time into bringing that live.
Oh no, what have I done, man?
I know a lot of people liked it. We know some people, like, there were some aspects they liked, some aspects they didn't like. We got a lot of really constructive feedback, so that's great. We're taking our time a little bit, but it's going to be coming soon. The changes are going to be coming soon.
Oh, jeez.
And that was an interesting pile of feedback to dive into. Because
Yeah.
on the surface, it was like, ah! And then when we dug into it, it was like, well, I like 80% of it, but there's like 20% that is freaking
Exactly.
me out a little
Yeah.
bit. So we really wanted to dig into that and thoroughly understand where you guys are coming from. So
Yeah, and the more nuance we get in that type of feedback, the better it is for us because we can really act on specific things and not just go blanket. I don't like this or I like this, right? So
yeah.
that's always really good to have.
All right. I think that's it. We can dump into the
Yeah.
notes of the
Go to
patch.
notes, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we have hero improvements as usual. Right? We've been doing this for a while
Yeah.
now, so that's pretty good.
I just want to see the slate.
Oh.
I want to see the slate. Yeah, right. Okay. So we're gonna start with
oh, I just looked for the
defensive
following heroes.
stance abilities. So by that I mean abilities that you perform while you're holding down on the right stick on your controller, or holding down with your mouse if you want, or whatever you go there. So for Conqueror, Blackbriar, Valkyrie, Warlord, Kyoshin, and Nobushi, doesn't really have she has that sort of input, but it's not really as defensive. But for the for the heroes that actually have that block there, those abilities no longer pause stamina regeneration when you hold them.
So
So
good.
you regen your stamina while you're in that block stance. It no longer costs stamina when you block attacks. I know Spaniard is going to be mad at me. That's how he calculates how much, like, the hit reactions of attacks.
Yeah.
That's how it used to be.
Well, he's going to
I'm
have
sorry.
to find a new methodology.
Exactly, right? We love the guy. So we removed the stamina cost to block attacks specifically because, again, we really want to flow towards like not being stamina starved all the time, especially with those
Yeah.
abilities.
Especially
I
Nobushi.
know I've heard comments from people that go, "Well, I'm just
I
going to
started
stay in
to
there all
main
the time."
Nobushi and
That's not useful at all. You're gonna get
You're-
broken out of
yeah.
it. Like, it's not broken.
it's so
or anything.
ridiculous how much
It's,
stamina you
Have
actually
fun
use
attempting to make
as
that
a
work.
Nobushi.
Exactly. And then the last thing that very few people knew about was that whenever you used to block attacks in those stances, you got less revenge, right? And so that might be part of why sometimes you're like, oh, why didn't I get revenge there? Well, it's because you were using that full block. But we've removed that aspect, so now you get the normal amount of revenge. Should help you survive better in group fights, be able to use those abilities quite a bit more. So that should be really, really
Oh,
good.
that's
Oh, nice. So
nice.
I can now feed even more revenge.
Exactly, right? That's how it works. And then for Nobushi specifically, so hidden stance no longer pauses stamina regeneration when you hold it. Again, she can
Nice.
go into her hidden stance, get her stamina back. She only dodges really when you start it up. So she can stay in that stance, but at least she's not going to be like, again, stamina starved while she's in there and not having to really have a look at her stamina and go, oh, this is what I have to do. I have to be really, really careful. So you can go into it more often, hold it for longer, and get like those sweet options she has out of there a little bit more often.
Awesome. One more reason for me to avoid Nobushi.
Yeah. We all love Nobushi. Next we have Berserker. So
now cancel the
I mean,
area of
this
every
is a
attack.
short no.
it's a
but-
very short note.
Every
but
attack?
I'm seeing some words in bold.
Some
Only
words
on
in bold,
miss.
yes.
So I'm feeling
But
like
now
this
it's-
isn't a simple change.
It's not a
Oh
simple
my
change,
God.
but it's a very significant one.
That's a super
So
big
Berserker
change.
can now cancel the recovery of every single attack with a dodge at 300 milliseconds. So before,
Oh, no.
Berserker could only really cancel the recovery of a bunch of
Whoa.
attacks into a dodge, but only
Whoa.
on miss. So
Whoa,
with this, it's
that's a
every
big
single
change.
attack, every single time.
But
And we really wanted to
What
go
does it
for it
mean?
with that,
On every
with
attack?
Berserker because
Does it also
the
mean
hero
on
is
dodge attacks?
supposed to be a crazy attack machine that always attacks. Berserker has front dodge heavies, front dodge lights, side dodge lights, everything's enhanced, and it really fits the hero super well. Gives him a lot
I think
of
Berserker is not the
movement,
superior
vulnerability, invulnerability rather, in group fights. A lot of move. You can do a lot of more stuff with that, right? You go attack somebody in a group fight, try to get peeled. Oh, and I'm gonna dodge away. And we felt super confident giving this to Berserker right now because there's no bashes.
The
that
problem
are
with
super
Berserker
quick,
now is
that have like
like
these really difficult moves.
you
that
have
kinda
one
deal
trick
with.
in the
So we were confident enough to give this to
anti-gank
Berserker
situation.
right now live
Like
instead of
you
going to a
go,
testing
you
ground
do
with
an
that
unlocked
because
unlock
it works
dodge
really well
attack,
with the hero.
but
It
the
makes a
options
lot
you
of
have
sense,
out
and
of
we're not
that
anticipating a lot
there
of
is minimal.
difficult things.
Yeah,
The only
'cause
thing you
everything
can do
with
is like
Berserker is really
unlock
like
dodge
floating
attack
and
into
fast,
heavy.
and then you'd hit this kind of chunky
That's it.
moment.
Yeah, you
You
get into
can
those heavy
cancel into
finishers.
another
I'm stopping
light
and I have
attack.
to start again and start
Or
again and start again. So with this,
same
like you
thing.
get a
Now
lot
you
more
have
ability and a lot
basically
more, much
all
better.
options
Yeah.
available.
And now we know why you can't give a
Like if you
Viking
can
to
go
that
into
too.
another dodge
Exactly.
attack,
They'll
that's
go
actually
berserk.
insane.
Exactly, they literally go berserk. That's the
It's
problem.
insane. Actually insane.
All right, next
Chain
we have
attacks
Kensei.
now cause medium hit rate.
So we've been doing a lot of changes to Kensei recently, and this is like one of the final ones we're going to be doing for now. But I think it's one that was super well requested. Basically, this kind of rounds out Kensei's offense in 1v1. So the chain light attacks now cause a medium hit reaction. They used to cause a light hit reaction. And we've also adjusted the timings from chain lights to finisher lights, so you can still dodge them, right? So you can't just go like light spam and your opponent can't dodge out of them or whatever. But this might not seem like much, but this means that Kensei can do the opener into pommel strike, into into chained light, and then do that top heavy finisher that's unblockable, and it will no longer be
Interrupted.
interruptible
Yeah.
at all by your opponent. So that's like kind of like the final
That's the
thing
big
here,
one.
where
If you
Kensei
cancel
gets
main,
his
of course.
pommel strike, which he does quite often, then going to that finisher is super
You know
rewarding
immediately,
because
you
then
know
force
exactly
people
what
to
I
really,
what
really
they
deal
mean.
with that mix-up.
You're
And
canceling.
then that finisher has like a lot of soft feints to do a bunch of different things. So it's super effective. It works quite well. And it gives the hero a lot more pressure in 1v1 situations.
Yeah, it sounds like it should break him away from being so reliant on that top heavy mix up.
Yeah, right. Because before
Crazy.
the problem was that because you could do it right, you had to always, oh, I'm going to do the side heavies because they have armor. You had to commit to more things. Whereas in 1v1 scenarios, it's not really optimal. It doesn't really feel as good. So with this, at least you can be sure you won't be interrupted by your opponent by a quick light, for example. That works. It's super strong. Gives him a lot more pressure, so that's good.
No, that sounds good. But yeah, so with the chain light attack.
Yeah, with the
timings-
timing. So the timing makes sure that the light finishers can be dodged. So because we give it a medium hit reaction, you could do like a chain light into a finisher light, and you couldn't dodge the finisher light. So with the chain link timing extended a little bit, it means that you can dodge those finisher light. We know like a lot of people like. It's important to be able to dodge in between some of those lights to give people a bit more breathing room. So that's why we also adjusted that there to make sure that things would be okay and that you wouldn't feel the
Also,
pressure. It
very
also
important,
incentivize you to use that top heavy
anti-gank
finisher,
situation.
because otherwise, if the light is
You have-
undodgeable, then sometimes you go,
Kensei
why
has
would I
really
use that top
great,
heavy?
just light
Exactly right.
Forever.
We don't want people
Hitbox.
to think about light
Yeah.
spam anymore.
Can actually use it
light spam can stay dead.
as unlocks. Wait, left and
Exactly.
right stance.
So
Raven's
Shaman.
Plus.
So for Shaman, the left and right stance, Raven's Claw and Raven's Bile. So that's a soft feint from heavy openers and chains after heavy finishers. So the sides used to be
No, they're
466 and the top was 400.
Oh, they're unreactable now.
All three sides are 400.
Super strong and
That,
number one
that
now.
gives Shaman more unreactable offense.
Wow,
We know
super
from
strong.
Peacekeeper, from Raider, from Aramusha, from Kensei, that those soft feints into really, really quick attacks work really well. In her case, it's a bleed that enables her to pounce and bite people and do like all sorts of cool things. Gives synergy with Nobushi, gives synergy with Peacekeeper as well. So it's really interesting. We really want her to be able to like apply that bleed more often, more consistently, and making it 400 should be unreactable even for our more crazy reaction players that we have.
Yeah.
So that's really, really strong here. Gives her a lot
The
more
thing is-
pressure in those situations.
If she went into that,
Nice. Yeah, it sounds like she's gonna have a lot better blood
I think people is
pressure.
not cool.
Blood pressure's gonna go through the roof now. That's pretty good.
Chad's gonna hate me for that.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
All right, so Blackbriar. So we've also adjusted Blackbriar's light finishers to now cause a medium hit reaction. It used to be a light reaction. We've also adjusted the life finisher recoveries, so you have the same frame advantage as you had before. So it means the recoveries are a little bit longer, but it also means that if a Blackberry does light to you and then he spams light,
Oh
your
my
light
god.
will be their light.
Really?
Right, so that's the idea here. We really want to keep that aspect really strongly.
Usually
that's a very
bash
important
light and then
aspect
you
of
have to
what we
wait.
did with the core
Because
combat
the enemy
update
has
2 years ago,
time advantage.
and
Having
it's
advantage.
very important for us to have that.
But now
Because that's now a medium
you
hit reaction,
stay in timing
Blackberry
advantage.
can now do light finisher to bulwark into bulwark stance into bulwark slash without getting interrupted. Similarly to what we have with Kensei, right? The idea is we want Blackberry to be able to flow more into more offense.
And like
as-
access that bulwark stance. a lot.
Exactly, right? And access that bulwark stance and be able to use the bulwark slashes a lot more effectively.
Attendant
Because
thrust.
part of the problem
is
that
this
Blackberry
again?
has is that he feels like a really 1-2 type of character
forward heavy,
all the
right?
time, right? You do shield bash into light finisher, shield bash into light finisher. And so having that flow coming afterwards brings a lot more variety, improves the overall flow of the character, and makes you want to use the rest of them a lot more to get into those situations.
Nice. So just kind of open them up.
Yeah,
bit.
round them out a little bit, right? And also, we've also adjusted Tenebrous Thrust, and you can now cancel its recoveries with a bulwark stance,
Yeah, makes sense.
which you couldn't before. We were trying to stay away from that a little bit, but now we're trying to go into something a little bit different. Yeah, you want me to?
Oh no.
The mic? All right.
Yeah, they have a problem with the microphone.
Uh,
And it's
so,
cool.
All right.
I like
Okay,
these
on this
changes
mic,
as a
yeah,
Blackberry main.
That's it for Blackberry here, right? So we're gonna have that aspect here. Let's get to the next one. So we have a couple of other
Kyoshin.
changes to other heroes. So for Kyoshin, we have Hakaze and Mujuno Kaze, which now cost 6 stamina. I said that really fast in Japanese. So basically, those are the Kaze
Beast of
stance,
Prey.
light, and zone attack.
Okay.
So they
And the
now
dodge
cost 6
probability.
stamina instead of 12. Works better. Gives Kyoshin much better stamina
So
economy.
much less stamina. Like.
Oh,
start,
Helm
all
Cleaver
that
is now
stuff.
Right, so that's
enhanced.
it goes in line with what I was saying earlier, where we want those heroes to have more stamina, less like constantly out of breath. So that's a big thing.
Yeah, because Kyoshin feels like, okay, I did my thing. Now I gotta like wait
Yeah,
a second.
Exactly.
Okay, now I did my thing.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Right? So
Okay.
with this, it
That's
doesn't,
nice, of course, for Kyoshin.
completely.
Warmonger
You
has
still
now
have to watch
better
your stamina.
dodge heavy, it
but
seems.
It helps. Like every little bit
And
helps.
dodged more
every
attacks
little
now.
bit helps
That's very
very
nice.
well. Warmonger. So for Warmonger, Beast of Prey, which is her side dodge heavies,
Yeah, so dodge
they
heavy.
now have extended dodge properties. So what does that mean?
Oh,
It
it's
means that
so
she has
strong now.
invulnerability frames for longer. It means she has tracking break, which is what we kind of call whenever you dodge an attack, right? So the way it works is I throw an attack at you and you dodge.
Thing is,
It kind of breaks
why
the
it's
tracking you have
strong?
towards
Why
you
is
so
it
that I know if I'm
strong?
gonna miss.
Like take
So that's
Veggie,
the
for
idea here, so
example.
that
Like
tracking
he has
is
an
longer,
this
lets
side
her
dodge
dodge
heavy
attacks more
counts as
effectively.
extended dodge.
Beast of Prey is really good in group
And you can
fights.
ca-
Well,
actually
it was
cancel
kinda
it.
okay in group fights. With
And now
this,
you have
it's
an
much better in
extended
group
dodge.
fights. Lets Warmonger reposition, throw big
As
heavy
unblockable.
unblockables at people, targets,
my
off them, do all sort of stuff, and be a lot safer while she does them.
Looking forward to that one in particular. Warmonger is
Yeah.
one of my mains. So
Yeah.
And
Then
Helm
we have
Cleaver,
Griffon.
obviously.
So for Griffon, Helm Cleaver is now
It's the forward
enhanced.
dodge
That's
light.
forward light. So for some of these heroes, and some people have probably noticed, and you probably noticed as well, in the past few seasons, we've been doing some incremental changes to some heroes, right? And sometimes it's like, oh, it's a little thing, oh, it's a little thing, it's a little thing. In the case of Griffon here, it's not the biggest buff we've ever done, but at the same time, it's one step forward, right? And so
Very,
we want to
a
make sure
very
that
nice step
sometimes
forward
we do
because
like
now
these
you have
step by
an
step,
easier
so
time
we
to
can
get
do
into
like
the
a little bit and then
finisher.
evaluate. Oh, okay, well in the future, this worked well. So what else can we do to improve the character? What else can we do to improve the character?
Like instead
We
of
go, like,
going
a little
for,
bit
let's
slowly
say,
there. We're doing a lot more frequent updates
forward bash,
with this. So
you
it
can go
works
for
really
forward
well.
light.
And that should
If
also
the enemy
help
is still
Griffon
going
get
to dodge it,
into
you can chain
better
into
offense
undodgeable
regardless.
or the
So it's still
unblockable.
a good
The
tool.
unblockable, no,
It
not
being
unblockable.
enhanced
The
to that. At least
the
when
heavy
you get
finisher,
interrupted
and the heavy
it's broken
finisher has now
externally by somebody else.
early hyper armor.
yeah, because I know in the past sometimes we'll roll out a slate of changes and we're like, oh, 80% of those were good, but like these couple, now that's the focus.
Exactly. Right.
And so this allows us to just
Yeah, we go step by
ratchet
step,
it
and
up.
it works really well. Next, we have well, it looks like a bug fix, but it's also an improvement on Nobushi. So she can now do Viper's Retreat and Hidden Stance at 100 ms in the stance change. That used to be at 300 ms. So basically, when you change your stance, it takes overall 300 milliseconds. But you can normally attack after 100. And so Nobushi could not do Viper's Retreat or Hidden Stance until the end of that 300. And so to have a lot more consistency,
Oh,
when she can attack, when she
yeah.
can go into hidden stance, we really
Good.
put it at 100 ms, like what she would have when she attacks. Really helps her again have more fluidity a little bit here, and
It's
also
just
with,
gonna feel better.
yeah, she feels
Yeah.
better, right? Because the thing is, sometimes even for hidden stance, like, I do it all the time. Like because I don't go and adjust my dead zones like crazy, like some players do, which is a great thing to do.
This feels
Yeah.
But sometimes you want to hit down,
much
and then,
smoother
you
now
were
to
like a
do
little bit
hidden
too much
stance and
diagonal
vibration
for some
quick.
reason because you're not super accurate
take
like
it.
I am. I'm getting old, so. And then I hit the diagonal, and then oops, I change my stance, and then I have to wait 300 ms before I can go.
Help
into hidden stance.
me.
So that's one of those buffs. Here
New
that really
hero is
helps
cool.
That input come through here.
You master
And then
Biki. Thank you.
finally,
And yeah, indeed.
Valkyrie. So Valkyrie's
She is
shield
very
tackle no longer causes stamina damage. I don't know.
Oh, okay, that's
if
fair.
you've seen. I'm saying
That's fair.
Yeah. I've
there's
seen
been
the
like
videos.
yeah, right. And there's been a big
Yeah.
tier list recently
Mhm.
for Dominion, and Valkyrie is S tier. And so we love the fact that she's strong. It's amazing that we had a really good rework with her. Like everybody's super proud of it. But at the same time, she did not need stamina damage on a unreactable bash that deals a good amount of damage. For the risk that you take when you go into it, it makes sense to have that higher damage, but she doesn't need to cause stamina damage on top of it. So we removed that stamina damage entirely there. So the hero is still strong. I don't see her dropping, but at least this should lead to a lot less frustration when facing her, because she's not meant to be a stamina bully. She's not meant to drain your stamina. And if she's doing it all the time, eventually she wears you down, and then it just gets frustrating. So we try to get away from that.
Yeah, shield tackle has a lot of modifiers on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So
No for
hopefully
buff for
missing,
BP.
you
It's
know,
a buff.
That little
obviously.
arguably the least of. will,
Bushi SST now? No.
will feel a little bit better
No.
when you're just getting kicked in the dirt. By
Yeah.
her.
Exactly, right? So that's it for patch notes and hero improvement.
Only buffs here? No.
Awesome. So you guys,
it's
this
a-
is only a like
It's
snippet
a
of the patch
let's say
notes.
it's
You
a
can look
big
for the full
nerf for
patch notes on
Valkyrie.
February 2nd. They'll be up on
take
the
away the
website.
stamina damage.
And I believe
But
that's
still,
it for this
thanks to the
segment.
new
But
move
we'll be
kit,
right
move-
back
yeah,
with Nolan,
new
Kyle,
kit.
and Luc St. Pierre
Doesn't
for
really
a
matter
special
anymore.
segment on For Honor's music and audio.